talk. So we're going to go ahead and get started. My wife, Missy's going to be looking over the questions as you type them and stuff. So, if we do miss one, we're going to get back to it. She's going to be watching over it. Because I'm going to be talking and going over stuff, and I may miss your question. But if we do miss it, you can type it more than once. And we're going to go ahead and get started right now. Okay. First thing, what we're going to do in this class here, what we're going to talk about are 3 different kinds of areas to hunt. We're going to go over a very small property. We're going to take a look at a huge piece of property. We're going to talk about the difference in the two. We're going to have a little question Q&A, and I'm going to give something away. Someone on the class can win something. You have to be at the class at the end of the class. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. The 3 different kinds of areas there are really. All hunting areas, if you can combine them into these 3 different kind of areas. You have small woods areas, which are small patches of woods. A lot of ag areas are like that. City areas, some rural areas are like that. And what it is where you have some small patches of woods, and usually they're connected together by funnels and things. And you would hunt them different than you would a big woods area. Okay. So you would, and then you have a big woods area. I seen someone had just a couple people had just joined. I'm just going to let you guys real quick, guys. I want to let everybody know again that this is being recorded. I'm gonna have to say that by law, so that I can, if you guys comment, this is going to be recorded and put up on YouTube. So, you can type in any questions if you don't want to talk. But if you do talk at all, you are going to be recorded. So let's go ahead and get started here. Again, we're talking about the 3 different types of areas. The small wooded areas, like I said, are the small patches of areas. They're usually ag areas in cities and some rural areas. They're usually areas that are connected by small funnels connecting one small patch of woods to the next patch of woods. We're going to take a look at them here in a minute in Google Earth. And then we have the big woods, which are usually very large areas of woods. A lot of times they're the forest. Most public lands are big wooded areas. You have just a big patch of woods. You have to hunt these areas differently. It's just anything with really large woods. Okay, it is a mix, and then you have something in the middle, which is it's just a mix of the two. It's a small woods area combined with big woods area. I guess you could call it, medium woods, whatever you want to call it. A lot of agriculture areas are like that, where you'll have a lot of ag fields, and then you may have a section of a pretty big area, wooded area, and then you have ag fields. Sometimes you have a few funnels. You have a mixed batch of all of it. Depending on what area you're in, depends on how you have to hunt the area. Okay, so let's go. We're going to go now to Google Earth, and we're going to actually take a look at a take a look at a small property. Okay. So we're going to go over here to Google Earth. Can everyone see my screen and hear me? So I guess everyone can see my screen and hear me. Okay, we're going to continue on. We're on Google Earth here, and we're going to take a look at a small piece of property. Okay, what we have here is, you see the area in white. I got this from Russell. He's actually on the call right now, but I thought it was a good idea. That's in the area of white is actually roughly a square mile. It's roughly a square mile, and that is the average area that a deer is average area of a deer's home range. Okay, you know, some deer are larger areas, some are smaller, but that's the average area. It's about 640 acres. I think it's 640. It's either 640 or 620 um, is a square mile, and that's the average area of a deer. The piece of property we're going to take a look at here is inside the red. It's a very small property. I measured this out. I think it is around 20 acres. It's a very small property, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on it. You see that it's just a really small section. It may be bigger than 20 acres, but anyways, the wide area is going to be about 640, okay? So the red is here. We're going to go ahead and zoom in on it and take a look at it. Now, what this property has, okay, we're at the property. I'm going to pull up my drawing tool here and write a little bit. Okay. Okay, what we have here, you see this area in here. Okay, this area here is just a big grown-up field area around this one pond and stuff. It's just kind of a grown-up area. You know, possibly could be used for bedding area. Okay, so you've possibly have a bedding area, and that's questionably. You know, naturally, you know, on Google Earth we can't walk in and take a look at the area. Now, there are some other things on the property that you have, and I'm going to zoom back out real quick just a little bit here. That's going to mess up my drawings. Now, what you do have, let me pull my. Okay, what you do have here, you've got some fields, okay, around the property. Of course, you've got some water. Okay, I mean, we can see that. I'm just going to give you guys a quick rundown of what's here. Okay, we got fields around it. Now, the thing about this property is that it's such a small area, the deer, you know, if you're hunting this property, and you know which someone actually sent me this property to take a look at, and I'm actually going to look at it during this class. I'm going to draw some stuff out and show you guys a few things on this property. Okay, so the guy's hunting the property. What he has is a very small area of deer's home range. Now, you may have some mixed baggage of the property, and I'm going to scroll out again. Okay, what you have, you know, there could be some overlap of the deer's home range here, but what you've got is a small area of a normal whitetail deer's home range. So you are actually hunting deer from in these areas here that are around the property. So you have to, if you're hunting a property like this, you have to take in fact of where the deer could be on other properties. I mean, the deer could be here in these patch of woods. Deer could be here. Now, the one thing you have unique about this property is this is a kind of a mix between a small woods and a large woods property. You've got some large woods here on the right-hand side of the property, some large woods to the north part of the property, and then see this area here. You've got what you would call a small wooded area. It's a lot of ag fields. It's mostly connected with just funnels and stuff, and then this property kind of sets in the middle of it. Okay, so what you do have by looking at it is you've got some funnels. Okay, it's this area here. See this here? This is a funnel that is coming through these fields, and you have a decent sized property here, or a decent sized patch of woods here that is connecting to this. Okay, you've got another funnel here. This actually runs down a. Looks like that could be. Let me zoom in on that really close. I believe that's going to be a creek. Okay, so you've got a creek here. that runs and it comes and connects that. That is another funnel that is coming into the property. Okay, you've got another funnel here. I mean, this may actually be a road that connects. I'm not sure on that. I'm going to go down here to see. I believe that is going to be a road. Deer may use it a little bit. And then you have a funnel here. Okay. So I'm going to circle the funnels real quick, because if you have any type of small wood areas, small woods areas, funnels are going to be key if you're hunting a small woods area. Now I'm going to circle them with my highlighter. Here's a funnel. Okay, we have a funnel here. This area here is a funnel. This area here is a funnel, and it's a long funnel, and it connects one big patch of woods to another. We have a thin funnel here. Okay, so this property is so small that really you've only got a couple of locations you're going to hunt. Okay, now I'm going to change to my pen, and I'm going to just draw out a couple of key areas to hunt. Okay, one is going to be right here, somewhere in that area, on the property, which that's right on the property edge. This is going to be somewhere on the property, right in here, somewhere on the property edge. Okay, and right in here, right there on that corner. Okay. Anything else, if you're hunting now, you could hear what you have on this funnel here. I'm just going to draw a line. Deer are going to move up and down this funnel. Okay. Now they may hit, and they could go this way, or they could go that way. Okay. So I mean, you could hunt here, but the problem is the property line is too far away from the funnel. But if you're hunting here, here, and here, you basically covering the entire property. Okay, and the only other spot that there could possibly be a funnel on this property would be right here by this road. Okay, where deer would be coming out of here and crossing the road and going up into here. Now that is, let me pull back that is going to be a normal, that is going to be a funnel. We're going to measure it real quick. I'm going to measure it in yards. I don't know how good it would be. And depending on if you're rifle hunting or not, you've got about 100-yard stretch there. So it's not really a super, let me pull this down here and make sure it gets in the video recording. Okay, it's not a very super funnel, for two reasons. One is this, if this is grown up fields, like it probably is, it's probably not going to be really super easy to get a shot through there. It's probably, you're not going to be able to see very far. There may be deer bedding in there, so that's probably not going to be a spot to hunt. Now this area here, this little section here, I just moved the whole thing. Right here, we're talking about a 25-yard funnel, okay? And then this little area here, you've got another 25, 30, 40-yard funnel here. And then here, you've got about a 60-yard funnel. So if you're set up in the middle of that, you can cover the entire thing. Them are your spots on this small piece of property. And we're going to talk about a larger property in a minute. This is going to really get pretty good. I'm going to change colors real quick. I'm going to go to gray. That should show up fairly good. Okay. Right here, there's a stand location. This is a possible stand location. This is a possible stand location. Remember, this is possible bedding area. These pines is possible bedding area. Okay. So I'm just going to draw out what's going to happen. Now, during the time of the year, what you're going to have is at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the bow season, which most places is October 1st, you've got deer that are working just food areas, okay? So if you've got deer bedding on your property, they may just be coming out here, walking out, feeding into this field, and then basically coming right back, okay? But as the rut begins to go into effect, you've got bucks. Remember we had talked about you have to hunt deer from the entire area. You're on a very small piece of property. You've got to hunt these deer on an entire area. That's why these funnels are keys, guys, because these bucks in this 1 mile radius that I showed you at the beginning, the south. Okay, hang on just a second. Right? Okay, someone had a question, but what you've got on the you've got these deer all around, okay? And if you're buck hunting, you have a very small area that you can hunt here. But if you've got 640 acres, let's just say you've got a square mile. You've got let's just say in this area here, just for sakes, we've got 40 deer per square mile. We're going to figure, if it was perfect balance, we got 1 buck for every doe, so you've got 20 bucks, 20 does, okay? Some of them are going to be yearling bucks. Some of them are going to be, 1.5-year-olds. You're going to have, a lot less 2.5-year-olds, but if you're hunting mature bucks, you're talking about the 3.5 and older, okay? You're only going to have a few, maybe 3 at the most, probably 3.5 and older on the entire square mile. Well, what that buck is going to do is he is going to come in and he is going to begin to, as the rut comes in, yeah, Russell, your question about the tree line on the property running north and south, that is true. This here, there's 2 of them. This one here is possible. Yes, that is possibly a funnel. Okay. I didn't think about that one. I just overlooked it and kind of missed it. Here's another possible funnel. This one here. But the problem is it runs nowhere. This one here is probably going to be the best funnel. So what you have, and that would actually be, let me mark that. Let me change my colors again. I'm going to mark it with a highlighter. Because somewhere here on this tree line, right here, that is a possible stand location. Somewhere right there, okay, guys? That's a possible stand location because that's connecting the woods to the other. Now back to what happens as these bucks, they are in the beginning of bow season. You've got the bucks that are all they care about is eating and going to sleep. And as they take a buck especially takes a huge change from the beginning of October, which is usually when most people's deer season starts, to the end of October. He goes from only thinking about nothing but eating to where all he thinks about is nothing but the women. Okay, I mean that's all he cares about. So if you have this property here and you're hunting it, you've got 4 locations that if the deer, there's no if to it, the buck, he's going to do it every single year. He's going to go into rut and he's going to begin seeking and looking for does, and he's going to start chasing does. Okay, the first stage of the rut is the seeking phase, and that usually goes on most places right at the very end of October, very beginning of November. From every single year, there's a narrow window right in that area somewhere. Okay, that's usually probably goes on for about 2 weeks, maybe a little less. It'll go from a seeking phase into a chasing phase. They're going at the beginning, all they're doing is seeking. What you've got, and let me get my pen back up. You've got a buck, and I'm going to change colors again real quick. We're going to use yellow. Oh no, we already got yellow on the board. You've got a buck that as the rut begins to come in, this may be his bedding area over here, okay? This here, okay? This blob of woods here may be his prime area, okay? And then you've got another deer buck over here is his prime area. You've got a buck, and we're just using this for example. Okay, here's your three. We're just going to say this is your three. This is your 3.5-year-old bucks on this square mile. This is the only 3 bucks that you have a possibility of killing. Okay, now there could, most of them is going to be further out than this. I'm just doing it so we don't have to zoom out the screen again. Now what you have, you've got this buck. We're talking, we're a week away from Halloween, and this buck, he's starting to get the urge, okay, to seek out does. Okay, now once we get to about the Halloween mark, he's really hot and heavy seeking most years. Okay, I have heard some studies where it fluctuates back and forth about a week or so every year, depending on the moon phase. I don't know how sure that is. I just know that every year around Halloween, these bucks start going crazy. I do know that every single year. Now, if you can learn to pick out spots like this, every single year you will be able to get in front of deer every single year. The problem with most people hunting is they're always hunting behind deer because they're hunting sign, they're hunting deer sign, and it's always old sign. Okay, if you learn a lot of the stuff, guys, in these classes and stuff that we're going to be having and we're talking about and stuff like that, we're going to have people from all over the United States in these classes that can add in information, things like that about what's going on in their area. We're going to know the timing of the deer from South Florida all the way up into Canada somewhere. We're going to know what the deer are doing, okay, as this time of season comes in, because we're going to have a group of people of private information in these live membership classes just telling us what these deer are doing, okay? But right now we're just going to say that we're hunting this property here, and it's Thanksgiving Day. We've took a vacation for a week long because we know that these bucks are these 3 bucks, and we only have 3 mature bucks in our area, and we're going to kill one of them bucks. How would we kill them bucks when they start seeking? What that buck is going to do, he's going to go from one doe group to the next doe group to the next doe group to the next doe group for about the next 2 weeks until he finds a hot doe. Okay, it may be a little less than 2 weeks. He's first of all, when he first starts, he's going to begin just seeking. He's just looking for a hot doe. Okay, as it gets hotter and hotter, closer to the rut, he's going to start chasing them does. They're not going to be susceptible. They're going to run from him. He's going to chase them around for a little while. He's going to give it up, and the mature bucks is really going to be when you start seeing mature bucks chasing does, you know that the rut is right on. Okay, it's his chasing is not going to go on until it's super close. Okay, but he's going to do it. The more older the buck is, the smarter he is. He's been through more ruts. He knows what's going on. Okay, the younger bucks, guys, you'll see them chasing does a lot earlier than the more mature bucks. But the young bucks are going to start chasing when the mature bucks are starting their seeking. Okay, now what is he going to do? What is these bucks going to do? What he's going to do, this buck here is going to travel these funnels to go from one doe group area. He's going to come down. He may hit this funnel here. He goes down into these woods. He may somehow, I don't know what's down here below us, but he may come down up this area, somewhere in this area. Boom, go over here to check out these doe groups. Do wander wherever. He's going to come back up and down these funnels. He's going to come through here. He may cut across the middle of this bedding area, hit this funnel here, come out through here. Why? Where else would you want to be hunting? You want to hunt these funnels. The reason you want to hunt these funnels during that time is because them bucks are going to begin seeking. When they start seeking, you want to be in front of them. Now, what else is this buck going to do? Pay attention to this, because this is going to be good. This is what I teach in my timing and hunting pressure mature buck course, what I'm teaching right here. Okay, what else is this buck going to do? As he comes from his core area, he's going to start rubbing trees. Okay, he's going to rub a tree here and there. He gets over here, he's going to rub a tree here. I mean, that was kind of awful, but he's going to rub some trees up and down this funnel. Okay, he's going to rub trees up and down this funnel. Also, what that buck is going to do early in the season, let's say he was feeding here, he makes a rub line back and forth through here. Okay, these are big, pretty rubs, old rubs. The problem is, if you're hunting these on Thanksgiving, if you're hunting this rub line on Thanksgiving, you're a day late and $1 short because that buck has already moved on. He's cruising these funnels. He's going from one doe group to the next doe group. When he finds a doe in heat, let's say he finds a doe right here in heat. Okay, and that doe's feeding here. Okay, what is he going to do? He's going to follow that doe back and forth from food area to bedding area every day. What is he going to do? He's going to make scrapes and rubs up and down this line. Okay, he's done breeding that doe. What does he do? He starts hitting his funnels again, going from one doe group to the next doe group. Now, what happens with a lot of people? They start scouting. When do they scout? Most people scout. Most people will scout right before they go hunting. What do they see? They see sign. They see these buck rubs. They get stuck on these buck rubs. Most people are going to go scouting. They know that the rut is coming in. If most people are going to take their vacation during the prime, if they take their vacation during this time, I'm saying the beginning of November, what are they going to do? They're going to start scouting usually about the week before or the very beginning of their vacation. Maybe the first day or so. What are they going to find in the woods? All they're going to find is this rub line here where that buck was using this rub line here, going back and forth, and these scrapes that he made here, going back and forth from where he was bedded here to where he was feeding here. Okay, now what is most people going to find? They're going to find this rub here. Well, where in the heck are they going to put their stand? They're going to put their stand right here on this rub line somewhere, and then they're going to wonder a week later why they didn't see the deer. The reason is because they were hunting old sign. Most people hunt old sign. That's the reason they don't kill deer. When they go out and they're out scouting, they see this hot, fresh sign. It's fresh and looks very pretty at that moment. But that buck has already moved on. He's hitting these funnels. He's coming down through here. Now we get into gun season, guys. Okay, our gun season in Arkansas, let's just say if I was hunting this area here in Arkansas and I was a gun hunter, our gun season usually starts about the beginning of the actual breeding phase. Most gun hunters go out about a week prior to that. What do? They find all these hot, fresh rubs up and down these funnels and stuff, which is still not, it's a pretty decent place to hunt because funnels are just prime. This is in small wooded areas. Like this area here and the area to the left is a small wooded area. The only place really to hunt and a deer to be is a funnel. And we're going to talk about this in just a minute. But let's just say Arkansas, and these guys, they find all these fresh rubs coming in and out of these funnels. They hunt there. For about the next 2 weeks, it's a decent place to hunt, but not the best because the bucks are actually with the does. He's over here tending this doe. And there may be 4 or 5 doe groups, or 4 or 5 does in this doe group that will come into heat simultaneously, and he's over here tending them. And that's actually, in my opinion, the worst time to hunt for a mature buck anyways is when they're tending because they're spending too much time with doe. Okay, so this here, you guys probably, I'm sure you got a lot out of that. We're gonna go back to the PowerPoint real quick, and I'm gonna clear all this mess out. Erase all the drawings. We're gonna go over to the PowerPoint. We're gonna actually take a look at this we're gonna take a look at a huge piece of public land. Okay, because there's a difference. There's a huge difference, and that's what we're going to talk about mostly. Okay, what the difference is. And the same concepts play a factor in the public land. Okay, let me find it here. Okay, here it is right here. Okay, we're going to my home state, Arkansas. I don't hunt this area no more. I do hunt it just a little bit. Are you guys over there yet? Can you guys see my screen? All right, we're back over there. All right, we're in my home state of Arkansas now, guys. This, you may be looking at this and think this is an agriculture field. These fields, these are not fields. These are clear cuts. And I'm gonna. And this is a very this here. This is all clear cuts, guys. All of this area is clear cuts. Okay. Now, when you look here and so these are not these are not fields, so you really don't have any funnels. I mean, there are a few funnels in these areas, but you don't have funnels. Guys, this type of area here is really tough to hunt in ways, and in ways it's not. One problem is, you remember what we were just talking about? I was just talking about the buck. And this particular, let me zoom in just a little. I want to zoom in one more frame. I want to zoom in one more. Yeah, I want to pull up this area, just this area right here. I want to zoom in one more. Okay, remember what I was just talking about the buck? The guys coming in and they're doing their scouting and stuff. Okay, let's just say you come in this area here and you scout. This area here is almost unhuntable. Okay, this area here is almost unhuntable. They're almost unhuntable because all it is just a grown-up thicket. Now I'm going to tell a really quick story, really fast. Me and my wife hunted this area. It's been several years. I put my wife right here, okay, and I hunted right down here. Now what was going on is we had a patch of white oaks, okay, right here that were dropping acorns during our muzzleload season. It was a hot spot. It was tore up with deer tracks. Deer tracks were using it. And, you know, white oaks would start dropping in Arkansas about the latter to mid to latter part of October, and it'll drop to, you know, about the first week or so of November. Now, I was sitting here, and the one day a buck, I mean, he was a huge buck, jumped up. Someone had pressured him out of here or something, but he come across this clear cut right through here, and I couldn't get a shot at him, and he come up through here, and I don't know where he went. I imagine he went out here because this is a walk-in only area, and this was a huge buck. But that evening, I hunted the exact same spot. That buck was bedded back down right here. He stood up one time. I seen him with binoculars. I tried to put my rangefinder on him to see if he was within distance of a muzzleloader, and by the time before he was 127 yards, I think, somewhere right in there. But before I got my scope up on my gun to take the shot at him, he had bedded back down, and I couldn't find him again. Now we didn't hunt this area opening weekend of rifle season because this area is just swarmed with hunters. It's a public land. It's swarmed with hunters, and it's just the only way to hunt it, you have to really do a lot of walking, going some really great distance to get away from people. I mean, there's people everywhere. So we didn't hunt it. We come back on Thanksgiving weekend, me and my wife and my son, and we camped right here. And a guy stopped and talked and asked us, was we hunting this area down here, this area right here? And I said, well, I have hunted it, not hunting it anymore. And the reason I wasn't, the timing wasn't right. Well, he showed me a picture of his son killed a 10-point that took that exact route opening morning of the gun season when I didn't hunt. He killed a deer off of my tree. He said he seen where someone had been climbing the pine tree there on the edge of the clear cut, and he killed a 10-point that was a 153-inch 10-pointer right here on that spot. Don't know if it's the same deer, but it was a huge deer. Okay, now back to the story. Not that was the story. Now what had happened in November, in Thanksgiving, this area here was littered with rubs, so old scrapes and stuff like that. The reason that area was littered is these bucks were using this area as the white oaks were dropping. Okay, they were using that area when the white oaks were dropping. Okay, now when the white oaks weren't dropping, they had stopped using it. I went over there and looked. I was going to hunt that. I took a look at it when me and Misty was camped here. I went and took a look at this area. There was no tracks or anything. There was nothing. The deer weren't using it anymore. And the reason they weren't, because the food wasn't there no longer. But there was all these big pretty rubs and stuff where these bucks were coming out, and there was actually a draw here. There's actually a draw that comes up right through here, and that's the reason that them deer were using, the bucks were using that. They were coming in and out of that clear cut through that draw, up on top of this hill, and then dropping down this hill. This is a massive mountain right here. Okay. Now, what happens to most people in big woods areas, and the reason it's very, very difficult, is because, and we're going to talk about it in a minute, but you've got scattered food sources. You've got white oak groups here. There's a group of white oaks right here. Okay, there's these clear cuts that are scattered all out through here. There's different types of oaks all down through this area and all out through here. Now, what happens with most people, they come in and they do their scouting. Okay, they come in and they do their scouting. What, the week before hunting season or whatever? Well, if you don't know what you're looking for and you're looking at old rubs and stuff, you're looking at rubs that were made, 2 weeks prior, and it's a big buck like this one was a 153-inch buck. He was rubbing some massive trees. Okay, if you see them rubs, most people get stuck on them rubs, and in big wood areas, it's very difficult because a lot of times you have rub lines going here. You've got rub lines coming here. You've got rub line here. You've got a rub line down this area here. You've got rub lines across here and here. You've got rubs and scrapes where these white oaks were, where they were dropping here. You've got a group of pin oaks over here, drop here. Same way in agriculture areas too. You've got all these different rub lines, and if you don't know how to read them, you're going to have a tough time because you're going to be hunting old sign. And in my timing, and I'm not trying to sell that course, guys, this is the kind of stuff we're going to be going over and teaching in the live online classes. But in the timing and hunting pressured nocturnal mature bucks, I talk about that. What happens with most people, they are stuck hunting this old sign in Thanksgiving when deer are not using it anymore, because they just know that this buck is coming through there. He will. Again, the problem is it's going to be next year. And you may get lucky and him come through there. Okay? But that's what happens. Okay? And I hope this makes sense to you, because there is a difference in hunting big woods and these small wooded areas. As far as you don't have the funnels and stuff, this area here you really don't have much funnel. Now this area here is a little bit of a funnel. This area here is a little bit of a funnel. Okay, Russell asked where were the deer on Thanksgiving. Actually, on Thanksgiving, these deer, let me switch here. I'm going to show you where they're at on Thanksgiving. I'm going to erase all this drawings, and I'm going to move back to my pen. Okay, where these deer are in this area on Thanksgiving, I'm going to zoom out here. Okay, do you guys see this area here? Here's a road. Let me pull my pen back up. You guys, I know you can see it. You see this here? This is a road. Okay, and it runs way the heck down through here, and it goes for like a long ways. And there's a road right here. Okay, and there's a road here. Okay, and this is something I teach in the Finding and Hunting Pressured Nocturnal Mature Bucks course. But do you see this area right here? The only dang deer you're going to find in this area on Thanksgiving is going to be an area like this right here. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the 2 to 3 weeks prior to that, there is so much hunting pressure in here that any deer that are in this area here, any deer in this area, in this clear cut, in this area, or any of these other areas here, they are not going to come out in the daytime, period. Unless they're just a young deer. Where these deer go, this area right here is like 4 to 5. I'm not exactly sure. It's anywhere from 4 to 7,000 acres of a walk-in only area. There is no roads connecting it whatsoever. This area here has probably got that 150-inch. How far is it? 1 mile? Russell asked how far it is. Give me just a second. I'll measure it. One mile. Let me zoom out again. That's 1 mile right there. But check this out. Just a second. Okay, let me zoom out real quick and erase this stuff. Okay, this area right here, let me see. You've got one road running down through here. Looks like the road is right here. Okay, this is the area, the walk-in area. The reason I know it's like 4 to 7,000 acres is from the actual map. It's a bigger area than just a 1 mile, but there is, okay, you have 1.5 miles there with no roads. And I'm going to take you guys, no, doggone it. I'm going to drop down real quick, guys. Well, let me close this down. I'm going to drop down right here real fast and show you guys something. Tell me whenever you guys can see the ground view of this. Okay, you can see it. Okay, do y'all guys see that hill? I'm going to measure that hill. I'm moving it up just a brief second where I can measure that hill. And these hills, okay? I got 2 hills here I can measure. Now let me measure this hill. See the top of this hill? Has the screen moved yet? Okay. See the top of that hill? Let me click. I don't know if I can. Now, I guess I can't do this in ground view. Oh yeah, I can. I guess I'm clicking. I don't know what I'm clicking. I'm trying to measure how tall that hill is. These hills are massive anyways. I can't, for some reason I can't measure. I thought I could measure from the top of that hill to the bottom to show you how far it is down the hill. But you see them hills? This is where them deer are. They're in these areas here because in this area it is so heavily hunted and so heavily pressured. These deer are forced into these areas. Any deer that is going to move during the daytime, especially a mature buck, is going to move in these areas. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to exit ground view. And I'm going to go back. I'm facing to the north. Any deer on this public property. Oh, that wasn't even the bad hill I was showing you guys. That was I don't even think that was the worst hill. Just 1 second. I'm going to drop it right here to show you what's in between this road. That's what's in between the road, these bad hills. I mean, this is, you see how that is almost straight up. These are the only areas, if you're going to kill a mature buck, unless he's just on a hot doe, you're going to have to be in a, I don't know, I may have did that too fast for you guys to see that. Oh, you can see it right here. Look at that hill. Look at that hill. It's almost straight down. See that? Can y'all see that? That's almost straight down. That hill there is. Let me see this question. We got a question here. All right. Okay. The deer during Thanksgiving were there. Unfortunately, we didn't hunt there. I was stuck. Personally, I'm going to tell you what I was doing. I was stuck on this area right here. Let me pull my pin out. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Unfortunately, I was still stuck that these bucks they're bedded in here. There's deer in here. Okay, no doubt about it. Some big deer in here. This is the area down here is a walk-in area only. Now there is a road a couple roads that run through the middle of it, but it's a walk-in area only. You can use ATVs on the other areas. It's like a 4 to 7,000 acres that are walk-in area only, and you've seen the roads over a mile from one road to the next. Okay, so the center of it was a mile and a half. So the center of that area was 3/4 of a mile to the middle of that with no roads, heavy terrain, areas that most people won't go. Them are the areas that if you're going to kill deer during that time, it's going to be in areas like that, or it's going to be in areas like this here that are almost impossible to hunt. The areas like that. Now, what these deer were, I was stuck on. Now, this has been 5-6 years ago. I was stuck on hunting this area here, which it is the only sort of a funnel in the area. I was stuck on hunting that area there. The reason I was stuck on hunting that area is I was thinking that the buck that guy shot, I mean, I'm sure he wasn't the only 150-inch buck, but I was thinking if I was going to catch that buck that I seen that one time here, I was thinking if I was going to catch him was going to be in this funnel. Okay. I mean, he may have been shot, he may have not. Most likely, if I was going to catch that deer in the daytime, it's going to be down in here. These deer were bedded in these areas out here, and they were not coming out during the daytime. They were so heavily pressured, okay, in these areas. Now, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint again real quick. It's getting in pretty good. And let me erase this here. Go back to the PowerPoint and erase the drawings. Because we're going to talk about the two differences in the two real fast. Now we have showed, and I've done pointed out pretty much most of the differences. But the small property, you're limited to how you can hunt the deer. The little small, 30, 40, 50 acre, how many acre property, the one we was talking about first, we were limited to where we could hunt these deer within that 1 mile radius. Okay, these bucks, that's their average home range. They're in the rut, it's going to expand some. Okay, but that's most of the time they're going to stay within their 1 mile radius. We were limited to we can only stay in that little spot. So we were limited that we have to hunt them funnels. Okay, we're also limited to how many deer we can hunt. It's much easier to find the deer. We know where the deer are going to be in them small areas on our property. If we're going to hunt them, they're just really small. We know they're going to be. I mean, we got 50 acres at the most there. We know the deer are going to be in that 50 acre area. Okay. In ag areas, one good thing about ag areas, the deer have a lot of good nutrition. Guys, I've seen 2.5-year-old deer in agriculture areas that make most of our 3.5-year-old deer. Their 2.5-year-old deer are larger than our 3.5-year-old deer. So that smaller property I was showing you that had them the small pieces, we may only be able to hunt a small piece, but there was probably a lot of 2.5-year-old deer within that 1 mile group that 1 mile radius that's going to come through that property that had some good nutrition because there was quite a few ag fields around it and stuff. So you may have some 2.5-year-old deer that have pretty good racks. The deer will be bottlenecked down a lot on that small property. They're bottlenecked down to use them funnels. Okay, so it makes it easier to hunt it in them ways there. Now the big area is the really big area is kind of opposite. Okay, um, it's much harder to find where the deer are. It's much harder. I mean, when we looked at that area, let me go back to it just for a brief second. You look at this area here. This area is over 1,000,000 acres, guys, that I'm showing you right here. This is just a small piece of it. I'm going to zoom. Matter of fact, I'm going to zoom out and you can see the area. It's a big chunk of my home state. Okay, this area runs from, pull out my pen. It's about here. It runs up into Oklahoma. This is the border right here. This is the Arkansas-Oklahoma border right here. Okay, it runs up into Oklahoma a little bit, maybe not that much. It comes down something like this. That is the area of public land. Something like that we're talking about. Okay, now I'm going to zoom back in on it real quick. I just forgot to mention how large of an area that was. Okay. So here, okay. So we're going to zoom back in on basically we're going to sit here and look at a square mile. I should have drew out the square mile on this here to show that. I can do that in the next one. But this area here, okay, these deer can be in this clear cut. Let me pull my pen up again. These deer can be in this clear cut. They can be bedded in this clear cut. They can be bedded in this clear cut. They can be bedded in this clear cut. They can be in this stripped area. They can be in this super heavy thicket. They can be in this walk-in only area. They can be in this thicket. They can be in this fresh clear cut feeding. That's their bedding areas. Okay, they can be in them bedding areas. The deer can feed in this patch of white oaks. They can feed in this patch of white oaks. They can feed in this patch of white oaks over here. They can feed in this patch of pin oaks down here. Okay, they can feed, you know, you guys are getting the point. Okay, I think. The deer can be scattered, basically. They can be scattered. Okay, back to the PowerPoint. That was the thing. In most of them, the food sources and bedding areas are scattered. You really have to almost track the deer down in large areas like that. Okay. And the other problem, it was a large public land area. Guys, we're talking 1.3 million acres, I think, is the size of that public land. Okay. The problem with it is public land. It's heavily hunted. It is hunted hard. The deer have a lot of pressure on them. The good things, you're not, yes, Russell, timing is much more important in the big wooded area. It's much more important because the small areas, you've got the funnels. Okay, in the big areas, them deer can be anywhere. In the large areas, you better know when you're in the big woods areas, you better know when your white oaks are dropping. You better know when your pin oaks are dropping. You better know when, hey, the deer ain't got any acorns. They're eating on honeysuckle. They're feeding in these clear cuts. You better know this stuff or you're going to be hunting old sign forever. It really is important. It's important in the small wooded areas. Now, when you were talking about that property that we talked about in this course here, that's really super small property. I mean, it's under 50 acres. Okay, but so it's not as much important because you're limited to where you can hunt anyways. When you get into areas like this here, and the reason I combined them both into this one course is this reason here, because there are people that are hunting these small areas that has that 50 acres that we talked about, that first piece of property. That property is a dynamite gold mine if it's hunted properly. The problem is most people go in and they hunt that property every single time they go hunting, and they overhunt that property, and any of the does that are in that area, they figure out where you are and they stop coming by your stand. By the time it is when you do need to be hunting where the does are and letting them pass you by, they figure out where you're at. And they stop using that property. They stop using the areas by your stand. Okay, then so the reason I combine both of these into one course is some of the guys that's got the little properties like that, them are gold mines. You have a golden opportunity. What? Don't hunt that property until the timing is perfect. Hit them funnels, hit them hard, catch that buck while he's cruising, and kill that one of them 3.5-year-old bucks that's in that 1 mile range. Hunt these areas like these big areas, these big public areas. Get in there and hunt with all these people before the deer are pressured in them areas, while they're still killable, and know the timing. Okay, which we're going to talk about that more as the classes go on. Because you're not limited to how you hunt the area. Okay? And there's no limit to how many deer you can hunt. You're limited on the other property. That area is miles and miles and miles. You can go from central Arkansas to the end of Arkansas, to Oklahoma somewhere on the big area. Okay, so now we have, is there any questions? I know we've answered quite a few questions in the, does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Let me open. Does anybody have any questions? We got a few people on the line. I don't know. Guys, if you've got a question, there's a chat area somewhere. Yeah, Russell. I didn't even mention them ponds. On the small property, the ponds, in the right conditions, let me go back there really quick. In the right conditions, let me tell it for everybody, because that is a good question. I forgot about it. Real quick. These ponds are areas to hunt in the right conditions. If you have dry areas, especially if you've got deer, or I don't know if we're back there yet, if you've got deer bedded in these areas around this pond, these are areas to hunt. Only problem is you got several ponds close together, so the deer can be at either one. But this property, the red is around it. The red that is around the property is all pretty thick. So if it is real thick, these deer may feel more comfortable. In dry conditions, the ponds are good areas to hunt. They're destination spots. Okay, the areas we marked were travel corridors. Now we're going to go back to the area here. Okay. Now, in here, I'm going to talk about that same question again for just a second. One spot in an area like this right here, guys, you've got this huge thicket. Let me pull my pin up just for a brief second. Okay. This area here is a massive thicket. Okay. This area here is a massive thicket in dry conditions, and even maybe not even, and well, there is a creek at the bottom. This is a creek at the bottom here. It's a dry creek most of the time. That's why these big trees, that is a creek. Okay, but you see this right here, this little pond right in the middle of that thicket? That is you have a bedding area. This is for sure a bedding area. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is for sure a bedding area. When you have water inside the bedding area, you have a hot spot, especially when heavy hunting pressure like this area here is. Russell, that when you asked he asked the question earlier, guys, about the okay, just a second. I seen that question there. Just give me just a second. He asked earlier about where the deer would be on Thanksgiving. On that Thanksgiving, me and my wife hunted. The deer, if it was dry, which it wasn't, we just had like 4 inches of rain the night before, so it wasn't. But if it were dry, this spot right here, that pond, would be if it was dry, would be a dynamite spot. if it was dry, I'm talking almost a guaranteed kill. If you were to get in there super early inside that thick area, that would be almost a guaranteed kill. To get in there super early, hunt that all day long, you're almost guaranteed to kill a decent buck, because the does, at that time the does were coming in there. Now I had another question here. I have a small area that I hunt. Acres. Okay. I have a question. I'm gonna read it. I have a question here. I'm gonna read it out loud. I hope you don't mind me saying your name, but I'm gonna. It's Willie. He says, I have a small area to hunt. The acres that are around me has been clear cut about a year ago, but the deer are moving on his property okay, hold up. But the deer are only moving late on my property. How can I get them to funnel on my land during the peak area? I guess he's talking about the peak time. There are things you can do. Now Russell, the guy that's been asking a lot of questions, probably actually knows the answer to that question better than me. He says food plots, baby. That's what he said. He probably does know the question. Guys, Russell, the guy he's been asking a lot of questions. He knows a lot about property management. He sends me stuff all the time. Shows me diagrams. He actually diagrams people's properties and stuff. He says food plots. There are some other ways you might, depending on the layout of the property and stuff, you can make funnels and things. Different ways you do it. Food plots does sound like a very good strategy to me, because that's going to pull deer in. Like the small property. Now let's go back just real quick to help you get your question. Yeah, screen plots. You can cut areas where you can actually make funnels. And guys, them are going to be in our live classes, stuff like that. We're going to get into deep. But I'm going to kind of answer the question just a little bit. I'm going to go back to this other property real quick, just really quick, and show you just something, just kind of something here. Okay, now let me clear this pin out. Okay, we have this property here. We had the funnels. You have food plots planted and bait stations already. Okay, you've got food plots planted and stuff. Willie, what? Now I'm gonna just give me just a second. I'm gonna show you. I thought it was erase the drawings. Okay. What you have here, you have the funnels. Okay, I know we done drawn them out. You've got the funnels. I'm just gonna kind of put a red mark up and down the funnels. Okay. You've got natural funnels on this property. Okay, but let's just say that this area was clear cut. Okay, when it's clear cut, that's going to be, you're talking about a clear cut that is a 1 year old. That becomes a food source. Okay, so this is just a food source. It's not, and so that wipes out this funnel here. Okay, so what you want to do, I don't know how big your area is. What you want to do is you want to try to get deer bedded on your property. Do you have any bedding areas on your property? Okay, so you don't have any. How big is your property? How many acres? Oh, 75 acres. Yeah, you're good. What you can do is you can create a few bedding areas in the center of your property. Okay. Or I don't know how the layout is. I'd have to really look at the layout of the property to tell you for sure. But what you want to do is you want to create some bedding areas. You can do that by hinge cutting some trees. it's basically, can I turn him on so you can hear the talk? Do you want to talk, Willie? Or do you just want to type your question? It would be if you could. Okay, I'm going to unmute you. Give me just a second. Okay, Willie. All right, you're unmuted. Can you talk, Willie? Do you? Not yet. Do you have, Willie? Do you have a? Are you on a phone or do you have a mic? You have to have a mic. You have to have a microphone, or you have to be on a telephone to talk in. Okay. Well, so all you're doing basically is just listening. Okay, you don't have a mic or a telephone. Well, you can, guys, if you, I just unmuted everybody on accident. Okay, just listening to you on a computer. Okay, well, you can type. Okay, first, what you can do is you can create some areas on your property that will attract deer and hold deer. Food plots is going to help. Creating a bedding area, you can actually create bedding areas depending on the layout and things like that. We're going to get into that more in other programs. Basically, the best thing I can tell you about deer behavior is what's probably going on. Now, I don't know how you're hunting it. What's probably going on is you're hunting the area. Okay, let's just say this small property here, okay? Let's say I come in here and I hunt this stand here the first weekend. I come in here and I hunt this stand right here the second weekend. I come in here and I hunt this stand right here the third weekend. I hunt this funnel here. I hunt this every single weekend until it starts getting the prime time. Well, what happens? I've already alerted every adult doe in the area that's using this property on a regular basis. I have alerted every adult doe that they're being hunted on a regular basis. Okay, so if I were to mix up, I was to hunt my property a little bit, hunt a piece of public land a little bit, mix it up, hunt when the timing is right and things like that, you're going to take a lot of the pressure off the deer. The deer are going to use your property on more of a regular basis. The only other thing I would be able to do on your property is if I was to be able to look at the property and really talk about it and see how the layout and stuff was on the property, I would be able to give you a lot better advice and stuff like that. If you've already got food plots and stuff up, the only way I could look at, I'd have to look at the property to see if there is any funnels. You may not even have funnels. You can create funnels, all kinds of different stuff you can do, which we're going to get into in other classes and stuff. This is basically the first class. So does that help you out a little bit? I know I didn't answer your question real well. Exactly. Okay. So that did help. That's good. Okay. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. We're basically, does anybody else have any more questions? I keep forgetting how to use my mouse. Does anybody else have any questions? Guys, if you there's a box, there's There's a box you can type in if you have any questions. All right. Okay, we're basically done. The only other thing is I'm going to give something away. If I figure out how to use my computer again. Okay, how much does it cost to send you a pic of my property? Well, there's several ways you could do it. You could go, you could have a live consultation, which is sort of like what this here is, which is a one-on-one a one-on-one deal, which is $40 an hour. You could join I have been doing properties for free, which I'm not going to do anymore. You could join this here, which is $9.99 a month, the live class. $9.99 a month. You can ask questions, do anything. I'm going to view properties for members times to times. That there, so you could join that. And one of the next few classes, we could get a property in. So that there, guys, you're getting feedback. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm on a wire. I'm gonna get a corded. I'm on a wireless headset. I'm gonna get a corded headset so that you guys won't have. You guys will not have the feed. I think what the problem is, I'm getting interference because I'm on a wireless headset. So, is it clear now? I'm fixing to tell you guys how you can get something for free. Okay, you're clear. Okay, I was going to just get. This is pretty neat. I don't know. There's a few people on the call right now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give something away. I'm going to give, and the only way to get it, okay, guys, I put a video up yesterday on YouTube talking about the deer hunting school online class and everything. What you do to win something is you go to that video, make a comment on the bottom that says, "Hey, I was in the class. What you thought about it, what your favorite thing was about it," and when you do that, I'm going to give everyone that does that within the next 24 hours, I'm going to give them one course of their choice free of one of my online courses. Now, if you own all of the online courses, okay, you are going to get 1 month free membership to the live training, okay? And what I want you to do now the comment has to be, you don't just run there and do it, because you have to it has to be a certain way, okay? What I want you to do is say, "Hey, I was in the class." You have 24 hours, so by the 28th of tomorrow, say, "Hey, I was in the live class. I thought it was good. Whatever you liked about it the most. What feature do you like the most? Whatever." And say, "Yes, I want a free online course," and then email me that you left your comment, which I know you left your comment, but email me, and I will email you your one free online course of your choice. Email me which online course you guys want. I'm going to tell you, if you don't have the timing and hunting pressure mature bucks, it's very good. The finding and hunting pressure mature bucks is very, very good. Okay, so that's how you guys can get something for free, and that's available to everyone on the class right now, and only everyone that was on the class. So all you do is just go to the video I made yesterday, and you'll it's the video. Let me look at the name of that video real quick. Hang on, I can just go to my desktop. That video was shoot. I think it was it was one-time free deer hunting online class or something like that. I can't even find the video. But anyway, it was the video. It was a. I'm sorry, guys. But go that video. Oh yeah, one-time free live deer hunting. Here's the video. Let me open it. One-time free live. Oh, thank you, Russell. He got it up faster than I did. That's awesome there. It's one-time free live deer hunting class. Time sensitive. Go to that deal. Leave a deal, and you will get a free class, guys. The other thing, I appreciate everybody that attended. Whenever I'm going to put this on YouTube, this will be the only one that's up on YouTube, and I may do this every once in a great little while, do a free class. Guys, these classes are going to get very, very cool, because there are going to be some of them where we actually go in and look at different public land areas, and I'm going to show. I only hunt public land. I'm not knocking anybody that hunts private land, but I only hunt public land. And guys, I have ways that I pick for specific public lands that are worthy of hunting. Not every piece of public land is worthy of hunting. Some of them are, some of them are not. Some of them you have to hunt different than others. We're going to go into great details. This is going to go on and on and on, all kinds of content, and I just urge you to sign up for the membership. It's $9.99 a month. Anyone watching this video on YouTube right now that's watching the video, this class is an old class. I appreciate you watching the video this long, but sign up for Deer Hunting School's online live online classes, and you'll get all these great features that you've seen in this video plus more. Guys, I appreciate y'all joining the class. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I know we went a little bit over the hour mark, what we were supposed to, but I think several of you enjoyed the class. There were several people that come in. A few people left early, but that's okay. I appreciate the ones that stuck through the end. And if you guys, I'm going to give you if you guys got any questions, ask them right now or we're done. I'm going to give you about 1 minute and then we're done. So any more questions? Okay, I'll take that as a no. Hey guys, yeah, you're welcome. I appreciate you guys showing up, and join the live membership, guys. As more and more people come to this, the better it's going to be, because you're going to have people that have a lot, not just me, but there's going to be other people that, in the future that's going to join into this that has a lot of knowledge about deer hunting. Russell, he's a member. He has a lot of knowledge about property management and stuff, and deer hunting too. Me and him talk quite a bit. So, guys, then the more and more people that come into this, the more people you're going to have that really love deer hunting, that's hunt a lot, and they can actually add in some of the features because there's a lot of features you guys didn't see. So, anyways, I appreciate you guys watching it. Got anybody that's watching on YouTube, I thank you for watching the class. You're welcome, Philip. Thanks for watching this video to the end, guys. Join deerhuntingschool.com live membership. Guys, another thing, check out deerhuntingschool.com for more tips, information, things like that on deer hunting. And we also have the online courses. You can check them out. And guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for joining the class. Everybody have a good day, and bye-bye.